to discuss oxidation and refining process. The last method followed for extraction process is refining. Before this, I will discuss oxidation process also. As I discussed in last class, reduction of oxidized substance occurs and it is giving metal with very few impurities. But there are few methods of extraction in which oxidation is followed. So let us try to understand first this term and afterwards I will discuss different methods of refining. Oxidation. So under this term I will discuss extraction of metal and extraction of non-metal and metal both. First of all, for non-metal, extraction of chlorine from brine solution. First of all, I had discussed brine solution is aqueous solution of NaCl. Aqueous solution of NaCl, look at here, this is Cl minus ion from NaCl and this is H2O. During electrolysis, it produces chlorine gas at anode. Cl minus is getting oxidized to chlorine gas. In this process, Gibbs free energy is 422 kilojoule. So according to this, E naught value is minus 2.2 volt. It is minus 2.2 volt. That means it requires an external EMF and that EMF should be greater than 2.2 volt. It overcome all other hindering reactions. It overcome all other hindering reactions and due to which we are getting Cl2. We can use electrolysis of molten NaCl also, but that produces only sodium metal. And through this process we are getting NaOH. Now another one method for oxidation of metal which already I have discussed in one of my video which was on leaching of alumina, silver and gold. So in leaching of silver and gold, during oxidation, first step is oxidation that produces Ag plus and Au plus as a complex. And afterwards displacement reaction occurs. Zinc is more active metal. It displaces Ag plus and Au plus and it gives us a pure silver or gold. Now after this, I will discuss all the methods of refining. Try to understand refining. Refining we are doing to get highly pure metal. It is approximately 98 to 99% pure and it is depending upon the difference in properties of metal and the impurity. So one by one we will discuss all the methods. So what property will favor separation of metal and leftover impurities. This is distillation process. Distillation method is used for refining zinc, mercury and some other metal also. Actually that metal which are having low boiling point, they are volatile, and impurities which are having high boiling point is taken and their distillation we are doing. Now look at here, in this flask impure metal is taken in and this impure metal is heated. After heating it is getting vaporized and as a vapor it is moving into the condenser. This is condenser and through water we are cooling it and this condenser changes vapor into liquid and this liquid is getting collected into this receiving flask which is called distillate. Now another one method. Next method is polling. Polling is completely Indian method. It was used by Aryans also in our country. In this process, metal oxide is taken. Normally this process is used to refine metal oxide. So metal oxide is taken with impurities and then it will be heated. After heating, in molten state of this metal, we are taking a green log of wood. Look at here, bamboo is taken, green log of wood is taken and stirred this molten metal. During stirring this molten metal, it releases hydrocarbon. Now this hydrocarbon reduces metal oxide to metal. Now next method is liquefaction. So in this method, the most important point is kept to be in mind. Melting point of metal should be low and impurity will have high. So in this process, we are taking a river Baratri furnace. This river Baratri furnace is taken and with impurity metal is heated. It will be heated little bit above melting point of metal. So when we are heating little bit above melting point of metal, metals are getting melted and it will be collected. Look at here, it is going to be collected and impurities are left behind on the sloping earth. This method is used to purify mainly stannous, lead and mercury. Now you all are familiar with this method, electrolysis. For electrolysis, we are taking impure metal rod as anode and as cathode thin strip of metal is taken. It is pure metal strip. Actually it is thin because electrodeposition occur over here and we are getting pure metal on cathode only. Now electrolytic bath is prepared by submetal salt solution. There is two type of impurities. One impurity is soluble impurity and another type of impurity is insoluble impurity in solution. So the soluble impurity will pass into the solution and look at here, insoluble impurity is collected below anode. This is anode mud, it is called anode mud or anode sludge, which will be separated time to time. Mainly this process is used to purify metals like copper, zinc, many other metals can be purified by this method. Now this is zone refining method. Zone refining method. Zone refining method, it is called zone because it is depending on the zone of the metal. Here most important point to be kept in mind, impurity mixes nicely with molten state of substance but it will not mix with solidified metal. So here we are taking this induction coil heater. This induction coil heater is moving. It is moving on this roll and what is happening, suppose here it is, so this is noble gas atmosphere and over here there is metal which will be melted. After melting, just what will happen, impurity will separate out and when we will move this heater at another end, then at this end metal will be solidified and no impurity will be there. Impurity will move in molten zone and here pure metal rod will be collected. We are getting pure metal over here. So it's a very simple method, zone refining method. Zone refining method is mainly used to get pure semiconductors. Pure semiconductors can be obtained by zone refining method. Now next is vapor phase refining. Vapor phase refining, here in this method, a most important point to be kept in mind, metal is converted into volatile compound. First it reacts with any element or compound and gives a volatile compound. And then this volatile compound decomposes to give pure metal. It is approximately 99.8% or 99.9% pure. So mainly two methods are followed for vapor phase refining. First one is Mond process. Mond process is used to purify nickel. Nickel is heated in a stream of carbon monoxide. Look at here, carbon monoxide is passed through nickel and it is forming nickel tetracarbonyl. Now look at here, nickel tetracarbonyl is moving into the next compartment. In this next compartment, heating process started and at very high temperature, approximately 100 degrees Celsius difference in temperature will be observed from first container to second container. And in this condition, nickel will be separated out, and look at here, carbon monoxide will be recovered once again for next Mond process. So it's a very cheap and best method for industries to purify nickel. Next vapor phase refining method is Van Arkel method. This method is used to remove oxygen and nitrogen, and vacuum is created over here through removal of dead gases. So first of all, we are doing here, look at here, titanium is taken, titanium react with iodine and it gives titanium iodide. And at very high temperature, in presence of tungsten filament, at very high temperature, this titanium iodide will be decomposed and it is giving titanium and iodine once again. Iodine will separate out, it will be recovered once again and we are getting pure titanium. Same process is followed in case of zirconium also. Now next method is chromatographic method. Chromatographic method, this is also most important method, and this method is based on the adsorption process. Adsorption process, as you know, rate of adsorption on adsorbent is much more important. So in this process, mixture of 2 or 3 different components, or more than 3 also, 4 or 5 components are taken and they are having different rate of adsorption on the adsorbent. That mixture is put in a liquid or gaseous medium and it is moved through adsorbent. There are many methods of chromatography like thin layer chromatography, paper chromatography, gas chromatography, but we will discuss most common and easier chromatography. This is column chromatography. This method involves 2 phases. This is stationary phase and this one is mobile phase. As a stationary phase, mainly aluminium oxide, silica or cellulose is taken, and as a mobile phase, another solution is taken which are having different nature from stationary phase. If stationary phase is polar in nature, like silica is polar in nature, suppose we are going to take silica, then mobile phase will be taken which will be non-polar. Then only our components of mixture will interact nicely either with mobile phase or with stationary phase. So this point to be kept in mind which we will follow when we are choosing mobile phase and stationary phase. About component of sample have different solubilities in that both phases. So in this, first of all, we are taking a burette safety tube. It has a stopcock. Over here we are using cotton wool and little bit sand is filled over here, and either powdered silica or wet silica. If wet silica is taken, with silica we are adding a solvent, and afterwards again little bit sand is taken, and before packing it, here we are taking mixture of compound also. And look at here, mobile phase solution is fixed. Now when we are flowing mobile phase solution, with this mobile phase solution, components of mixture are also flowing. Here we are observing what if it will interact, if this component, suppose there are one component which is interacting nicely with stationary phase, another component which is interacting nicely with mobile phase. So the component which interact better with mobile phase, it will come earlier, it will be collected earlier, and which will interact nicely with stationary phase that will not come earlier, it will take longer time. Now first of all, one component will be collected, then second component, third component, and they are getting adsorbed over here and forming colored band. After adsorption they are forming colored band. Look at here, this colored band is called chromatogram, and isolated component is called eluent, and the process is called elution, isn't it? So this is also a best method to separate out all the components of mixture if they are having different nature. So these were the methods of adsorption. I think you all understood. If there will be any problem in understanding any of the point, you can comment in comment box. Thank you.